Thank you all for coming. Welcome to the Missoula Mendelssohn Club's 62nd annual spring concert. We would like to thank our concert sponsor, First Security Bank, for their generous opportunities that they give us in music and sponsoring the Missoula Mendelssohn Club. Also, if you note on the back of your program, there are a number of club sponsors that have also given an economic opportunity to us with the Missoula Mendelssohn Club as well. Without these sponsors, we could not continue to provide music to Missoula. We want to thank you very, very much. In particular, we want to thank Ron Scharf, who is not with us this evening. He is off on a trip, but he was instrumental. And I know many, many of you out there have bought tickets from Ron over the years. On the back of our program also, you will note that we have a website, and if you'd like to visit that at any time for upcoming information on the Missoula Mendelssohn Club, please do. Without further ado, I would like to introduce to you a gentleman who is instrumental, and I know that is a little bit of music humor for us. He has been around Missoula for, well, a very long time. Ages and ages. He supports the arts, and not only for us at the Missoula Mendelssohn Club, but hundreds, if not thousands, of students and people over the years that have seen him perform. And if you were here last year, you got to see the great opportunity that he played with your granddaughter, and it was absolutely fabulous. A few years back, he actually donated a piano, and not just a piano. It was a baby grand upright piano for us to raffle off, and that continues to support our club. And without further ado, I'd like to say, Lucian Hutt, thank you very much.
Good evening. I have to read a note for the First Security Bank that welcomes you and I to the Mendelssohn's 62nd annual spring concert. The First Security Bank is a proud and continual sponsor of the arts and non-profit organizations here in Missoula, especially this year's spring concert featuring Missoula pianist Barbara Bladen. They quote, "There is nothing more beautiful that reflects the soul than the voice in song and melodies flowing from the fingers of a great pianist." How to? The officers and staff of the First Security Bank know you will enjoy this evening's performance. I would like to say a few words about the Mendelssohn Club. We know that it was named after the great composer Felix Mendelssohn Bartholdy. Exactly when it started, in my research, in Germany that is, we don't know exactly when it started. However, if we go back in time, what was the great entertainment of those days, particularly in the Northern European countries, was that men often got together in two places. The first place was the stube, or the bar, or the cafe, and drank an awful lot of beer. The second place was that they formed local communities and had choirs. And so the Mendelssohn clubs were started. They're now all over the continent in Europe and in the United States and Canada. I'm not sure about the Asian countries, but we have those. So what happened to all the Mendelssohn clubs in the past, there are a great number of people in those clubs, has diminished over the years simply because the entertainment field changed so much. First of all, the discovery and the radio came about, then because later on the telephone, and not to talk about the great entertainments of today that we have the computer, and of course we have the television and all the games. So in those days, there were no automobiles and none of these things that I just mentioned. So it was very common to get together and form clubs, such as we also know that there are the barber clubs that we have, and we have other women did that as well. The reason why it is not so popular today is because we have changed so much direction, as I say, in the entertainment field. The Mendelssohn Club here tonight is very special because this is the 62 season. That is a wonderful thing that we could still have a Mendelssohn Club here. And perhaps a time may come that television and TV games and telephones and cell phones in particular may take a step backwards and we come back to singing. I know of two places in Missoula that still do that. There is a regular concert at Bill Rowell's house. He has a 19th century beautiful home where it's a regular concert for those who want to play and get together, and we have a couple of drinks and some cookies and things, and it's so wonderful to have that interact with people. And then Comstock every month also has some gatherings of people that come together and just enjoy music. If you don't play that well, that's okay too. There's just a lot of fun. So with this, I think that we should be really proud that we have the Mendelssohn Club, and for decades Don Carey has been the horse who has led the pack to all sorts of different situations and difficult situations. So I'm really very proud to say a big hand for our Mendelssohn Club!
composers treat the same Gloria text.
Gloria
is what I would call a wunderkind. A wunderkind is someone that at a very young age seemed to take to the piano as though it was very easy. And sometimes I know of one little child that is my granddaughter who can sit on the cello and bang out Saint-Saëns cello concerto and wonder why people think it's so difficult. And that's the same with Barbara Blagan. But beside her extreme talent and her interpretation, there's another side that we like to benefit from. And that is the side that she had met so many great artists in her life. So she had a good insight as to how those artists perform, how they think about stylistic elements, how they think about the interpretation aspect of different styles, how they would work, for instance, on memory and technical aspects, and something else too. In all of the artists that I have known, I have a few in my life that were very famous, there are always some anecdotes about artists, and she probably had a whole array of anecdotes. Now, what that means is, maybe you allow me to tell me one anecdote that is in particularly well known. That is the great pianist Vladimir Horowitz played with Arturo Toscanini the piano concerto in B-flat major by Tchaikovsky. Well, somewhere in the middle of the movement, it was stopped. All of a sudden, the conductor said to Horowitz, "I don't think you're doing that right." So, well, Horowitz mumbled a little bit and went on. And that happened twice, the second night. Then it was said to him that, "Well, I'll tell you, God talked to me last night, and he said, Vladimir, you're doing that wrong." Vladimir again shrugged off his shoulders and went on. At the very last rehearsal, Horowitz stopped at that same place that the conductor told him he was wrong. Well, he said, Toscanini said to him, "Oh, are you going to do it right now?" No, he said, "Ironically, really strange, but God talked to me last night too." And I explained it to him. And God said, "Who is that fellow, Toscanini? I've never heard of him." And you believe there was such anecdotes. There are so many of them, like the ones by Sir Thomas Beecham. I could stand here for probably 2 hours and tell you all the anecdotes that I know. So what I'm trying to say is I hope that Barbara will share with us all of the experiences of these great artists. Now, without further ado, here comes the brilliant star of Missoula. We are so happy to have her here, and all of us will definitely learn from her. So give us a warm hand for Barbara.
That's the only political statement we'll make tonight. I think. I just want to marvel along with all of you at what real talent it can mean, which you just experienced a while ago from Barbara Blake. And, you know, for us to sit in that kind of presence is unusual, and we're damn lucky. I think that this is an example of why all of us, you know, there's no such thing as a professional audience. You're all amateurs. You love what you hear. You love to come to concerts. We're grateful for that. We're amateur singers as well. We do it because of the amo, amas, amar, amantus, amantus. The sexual please help me. At any rate, one of that part here. Scottish song is next. Bobby Burns text.
My heart's in the
for coming.